Let's remember the Java for statement. The Java for statement has 3 parts or 4 parts. First of all, after the for statement on this, between the parentheses, there's an initialization part, there's a condition part, and there's an increment and decrement part. And then the for statement is followed by a block of Java statements, which makes the for block. Assume that I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So what are the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 up 9 and 10. So what I have to do, I have to initialize with the value 1. Okay, so here I declare a variable, let's say n, and set it to 1. And then the second part, the condition, should be valid for all these values, but not for the next value. Okay, this is the most important part. The condition must be valid for all the possible values, but not for the next generated value. How do we generate next value? By using the increment and decrement part. So from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, then to 4, etc., we are increasing the variable. Here I'm using the variable n, and here n plus plus means increase the value of n by 1. So from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, etc., from 9 to 10, it will increase every time after the body is executed. What is the order? The initialization part is only done once at the beginning of the for statement. And then after initialization, the condition is checked. If the condition is true, the block will be executed. After the block, the increment and decrement will be executed. After increment, decrement, the condition will be checked again. So the loop is like this. Initialization is done only once at the beginning, and then condition, the for block, increment, decrement. And then if the condition is true, this will repeat again and again until the condition is false. So when condition is true, the block will be executed, and then increment, decrement will be done, and then the condition will be checked again. So here, our condition should be written so that it will be true for all wanted values, for all the possible values, not for the next one. What I mean by the next one, since in the increment, decrement, we are changing the value, the variable that we use in the initialization part, and we use that value somewhere inside the loop, most probably. The condition will therefore contain the value which is incremented or decremented. Okay. Very rarely we can have some different condition here, but this is for 95% of all time. We will be using a condition which will use the variable defined in initialization and increased or decreased in the increment decrement part. Here, for example, we have 1 to 10. So we start with 1. As long as it is less or equal to 10, this condition will satisfy for all values, and n plus plus makes increasing the variable n by 1 at the end after the body is executed. And then after 10, it will be n plus plus will make it 11, and 11 less or equal to 10 will be false, and it will exit the for loop. It will quit the for loop and will continue with the next line below. Write a Java for statement that prints 2-digit positive integer numbers in ascending order. So we will be printing 10, 11, 12 up to 99 because these are 2-digit positive integer numbers. So what is our initial value? It is 10. So here I will declare a variable, let's say n, which is equal to the first value. My condition should be true for all these values, but not for the next value, because after 99, when we increment 99 by 1, we will get 100. Therefore, the condition should not be valid for 100. For 100, it should be false, but it should be true for all these other possible values that I'm interested. So here we start with n equals 10. as long as n is less than 100, from 10 to 99, this condition will be true, will be valid. But after 99, it will print 99. 99 less than 100 will be true. It will print 99. And then it will increase the variable n by 1. The value of n will be 100. 100 less than 100 will be false. And it will quit the loop and continue with the statement after it. Now, we set here in ascending order. What do we have to do if it was in descending order? Let's go here. Let's copy this. So my question is not ascending order, but descending order. Okay. Write a Java for statement that prints 2-digit positive integer numbers in descending order. What are they? Since it is in descending order, my start value will be 99, then 98, 97, 96, blah, 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 and then 11 and 10. These are all 2-digit positive integer numbers. The next number, which is 9, is not 2-digit positive integer number. It's a single digit. So I am interested with these values. So what will be my start value? 99. And then as long as it is greater than 10, it is decreasing. So what I have to do here, I have to put minus minus. So I have to change this condition so that this condition will be valid for these values, will be true for these values of n, but not for 9. So if I say greater than 9, that will be true. 9 greater than 9 is false. So for 9, it is false, but this expression 9 greater than n greater than 9 is valid, is true for all numbers from 99 to 10. Don't forget that we are decreasing. We are starting with 99 and then decrease it by 1. We get 98, then 97, 96, etc. And at some time we will get 11, then 10. For n equal to 10, 10 greater than 9 will be true. It will print 10 to the screen, and then it will decrease after the body. Remember that after the body, we are executing the third part, which is the increment decrement part. The value of n will become 9. Now, I'm not interested in 9 because it is not a 2-digit positive integer number. So I have to stop. So my condition should be false for 9. 9 greater than 9 is false, but it is true for all numbers from 99 to 10. So it will quit the loop. Let's write another one. Write a Java for statement that prints 2-digit positive integer numbers divisible by 5 in descending order. Okay. Now, since it says print 2-digit positive integer numbers divisible by 5, what are they? The first number is 95, because 99 is not divisible by 5. 98, 97, 96 are not divisible by 5. So the greatest number, 2-digit number, divisible by 5 is 95. Why I start with 95? Because the question says in descending order. When it says this, I have to think that my sequence will be something like this: 99, 90, 85, 80, blah, 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 blah. And then at one time 15, and then 10. So I have to decrease by 5. So what will be my start value? My start value will be 95. What is my increment decrement? From 95 to, I have to go to 90, then to 85. So I have to decrease the variable n by 5. So I have to write minus equal 5. Okay, minus equal 5 decreases the variable n by 5. Or I can write, as also here, n is equal to n minus 5. This is equivalent to n minus equal 5. Anyway, this is equivalent to, let's put it here, sorry, n minus equal 5. This statement is equivalent to this statement. Here, I don't need to put another semicolon, okay? Because I'm inside the for statement. I don't need this because in for statement, I have 3 parts separated with 2 semicolon. Before the first semicolon, I have the initialization part. Between the first and the second semicolon, I have the condition. And after the second semicolon, I have the increment or decrement part, or the statement that changes my variable used in the for loop. It can be increment, decrement, divide, multiply, etc. So here, sorry, not asterisk, of course, I had done a mistake. So this is minus, okay. So this is equivalent, n minus equal 5 is equivalent to n is equal to n minus 5. Either I can write this one or this one, it doesn't matter. Now, another question can be something like that. Write Java statement that prints all powers of 2 that are, let's say, print all powers of 2 that are less than 1000, sorry. In ascending order. Powers of 2. What are the powers of 2? So on a piece of paper, on my exam paper, for example, I will quickly write 2. Square of 2, 4. Third power of 2, 8. Then 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. As long as they are less than 1000, we will print it. So what is my start value? 2. What is my condition? Less than 1000. It is given in the question. That prints all powers of 2 that are less than 1000. So my initial value, since when I read this question, I should immediately think of these values. Okay, it's a good idea. It's a good idea to write these values just on a piece of paper or on your exam sheet. Okay, just next to the question, you can write 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. So that you can have a better idea of how the values are changing. So my initial value is 2. My condition is less than 1000 because this is it will increase. And what is my condition? Every time I have to multiply n by 2. 2 multiply by 2, 4, multiply by 2, 8, multiply by 2, 16, multiply by 2, 32, etc. So what I have to do, I have to multiply by 2. Or in other words, asterisk equal 2. Okay. Write a Java statement that prints, so I'm printing them inside. All powers of 2 that are less than 1000. As I said, you have to think of these values first of all. Therefore, you know the start value, which is 2. Here it says less than 1000. Therefore, we know the condition. And it says powers of 2, which is 2 to then 2, first power of 2, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, 2 to the power 3, etc. So since it is going power of 2, what I have to do, I have to multiply by 2 each time. Okay. So here it's instead of just a simple increment or decrement, we are just multiplying the value. And we are printing because the question says prints. But if the question says not print, but some other thing, write a for statement that finds the sum of all powers of 2, the sum of, let's put the comment here, the sum of powers of 2 that are less than 1000. So I have again my initial value. What are the powers of 2 that are less than 1000? They are these values up to 1000, as long as less than 1000. So this generates those. But here it says not print, but find the sum. When I have something like this, always, since these are integer numbers, all the powers of 2 are integer numbers, my sum variable should be integer. And we have to start sum with 0. What will be here? Sum is equal to sum plus n. Now my n variable contains the power of 2. N will be 2 at the beginning, then 4, 8, 16, 32, etc. Let's continue this. 120, 256, 516, and the next one, which is 1024, is not less than 1000. So I am interested with these values. So since it says find the sum of all powers, this is what I have to write. Attention, there is no print here. I initialize a variable to 0. I produce here the powers of 2, and I add those powers of 2 to sum, so to find the sum of all powers of 2 that are less than 1000. Therefore, I don't need in ascending order in this question. Okay, whether I add 2 plus 4 plus 8 blah blah, or whether I add 516 plus 256 plus blah blah, whether I go this way or the other way around, it doesn't matter. The sum will be equal. As you know, the summation or the plus operator is commutative. Okay, a plus b is equal to b plus a. So I can go in either direction. So if I have find the sum of all powers, I don't need to put here in ascending order or in descending order. Is this understood? Any questions so far? These are just repetition of my explanation about for loop last week. Some more examples. Write a Java for statement that finds the sum of all, not powers of 2, powers of 1 over 2. So what are the powers of 1 over 2 that are greater than? Now it is decreasing. I had done this before last week, which was this one. Okay, I had explained this last week. We can have cases where the variable used here in the for loop is not an integer variable, but is a double variable or float variable. A real number can be used inside for loop. For example, assume that I want to find the sum of numbers like that. The sum of, for example, 2.5, then 5, then 7.5, then 10, 12.5, as long as they are less than 1000. So what is my initial value? Let's remove this. What is my initial value? My initial value is 2.5. Is that integer value? No. Therefore, I will write here double. Okay. Double n is equal to 2.5. What is the increase? I will add every time 2.5. 2.5 to 5 is 2.5. For 7.5, it increases again by 2.5, etc., etc. So my increase is not an integer, it is this. Or I can write this like that. Plus equal means that increase the value of n by 2.5. And as long as it is less than 1000, this will work. Okay, so this is the question. Or it can be, for example, it may start not with 2.5, blah, 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 increase zinc by 2.5 every time, and less than 1000. So my start value is 10. So what I will write, I just write 10 here. Since 12.5, 15, 17.5, etc. are all real numbers. So I have to use some double value here, okay? Not an integer, because an integer wouldn't get the decimal parts, the fractional parts. So I have to use a double variable. Here I can put 1000.0 or 1000, it doesn't matter. Since n is a double value, Java will automatically get a double version of 1000 and compare with that double value, okay? It doesn't matter. Even if you put it like this, Java will automatically use 1000.0, which is a double value. This is handled automatically by Java. Therefore, you can do it like this. Is understood? Now, assume that I want to write a Java program. In the meantime, let's open the Eclipse IDE. I want to write a Java program which prints something like that. 1 asterisk, 2 asterisk, 3 asterisk, 4 asterisk, etc. I want to print a triangle, something like this. Okay. Let's stop at 6. Okay. I want to write a Java program which prints 1 asterisk on the first line, 2 asterisk at the second, 3 asterisk, 4 asterisk, etc. How can I do that? One of the ways of doing this is by using nested for loops, a for loop inside another for loop. So assume that I have a variable int n is equal to, for example, 6. My triangle will contain n number of rows, and on the last row, n number of asterisks. Okay, one first row, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Each row contains the number of asterisks, which is equal to the number of rows. So this is my initial statement in order to do that. So I will write a for loop for int, let's call it row. Okay. My rows, I have 1 to 6 rows. So my initial value will be 1 for the row 1. This is row 1, row 2, row 3, 4, row 4, row 5, row 6, 1. As long as row is less than or equal to n, as long as it is equal to, less than or equal to 6, it will increase by 1. So I will have row plus plus. Now this is the number of, here I am building a for loop which just generates a row value. 1 for the first row, 2 for the second row, 3 for the third row, etc. But also at each row, we will print asterisk which is equal to the value of the row. For the first row, I will have print 1 time. For the second row, 2 times. For the third row, 3 times. Assume that this is column 1, then column 2, column 3, column 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So here I will have another loop for int, let's call it column, equal to column 1, and the column value for the first row will be 1 to 1. For the second row, 1 to 2. For the third row, 1 to 3. So it will start from 1 and it will go until row. So column will be less or equal to row. If row is 1, let's put here col plus plus. sorry. So I will have something like this. This is generating the rows 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is generating columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the row which is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for row equal to 6. When row is equal to 1, how many times this inner loop, this is inner loop, this is outer loop. The outer loop will repeat n times. Start with 1. As long as it is less or equal to n, increase by 1. So the possible values that it will get will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because n is equal to 6. So what will be the possible values of call? It will go up to row. It will start with 1. It will go up to 1 row. So if row is 1, the inner loop will repeat only one time. If the row is equal to 2, this loop will repeat twice. If row is equal to 5, 5 times. If row is equal to 6, 6 times. So what I will be doing here, system dot out dot print, attention, not println, because println prints a new line at the end. I will just print one asterisk here, okay, with print. Here, when row is equal to 1, this loop will repeat one time, so it will print one asterisk. When row is equal to 4, this loop will repeat 4 times, it will print 4 asterisk. But when after printing the last one for that row, what I have to do, I have to go to the next line. So here I will have a print ln with nothing. In that case, this will just print a new line, nothing else. Okay. So let's copy these ones, Control C. Let's go to our Eclipse. Do I have something like this? I will check that one. Maybe I can check the other for program. It may contain something like that. Oh, here it is. Let's change this 8 to 6. Row 1 to n, row plus plus, column 1 to row plus plus, print one asterisk, and then inside the outer loop, after printing the number of row times the asterisks, we have a system out println with empty, which goes to the next line. Let's run this program. Here it is. Okay, 6 times it is printed. I've changed to 6. Now let's make this 8, and then let's run it again. So after those blah 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 blah, here we have our triangle, which is printed, which has 8 lines, and the last line has 8 asterisks. Okay. Assume I want to print something like this: 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. How do I do that? I already had n variable here, so I'm still using the same one. N is equal to 4. I want to print from 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I again have exactly same loops, except instead of printing asterisks, I'm printing different thing. Row is equal to 1 to n, row plus plus. Column is equal to 1 to row, column plus plus. Same thing. First row up to 1, second row up to 2, third row up to 3. At each column, I print the column number. So instead of printing asterisks, I print 1, and then 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay. So when I use here call, the column variable is used. I have this out. Let's change this to 7, for example. Let's run this again. Here we have up to 7. Is it okay? Is this understood? Another one. The first row I print 2, 1. Then 2 and 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. What we can say about this? At each row, we are printing the row number. This is row 1, print row number. Row equal to print row number. So we have something very similar to this one, but instead of printing column number here inside this inner loop, we are printing the row number. Row is equal to 1. Column will go from 1 to 1, one time, 1 is printed. And then go to the next one. And then row become 2. Column will go from 1 to 2, and each time print the row which is 2. 2 is printed then. Then row is increased by 1, it will become 3. This inner loop will go from 1 to 3. It will repeat 3 times, and each time it will print the row number, which is 3. 3, 3, 3 is printed 3 times. And again, same thing with 4. Okay. Let's change this to 9, and let's see what is printed. Here it is. Of course, if I have something greater than 1, one digit, like 12, what will happen? It will not be something like this. Of course, for this example, up to 9 is fine, but with 10 times 10, 11 times 11, 12 times 12 are printed. Okay. So this is not a good example for, this is an example that can be used up to 9. And similarly, this one as well. After 10, it will not give the same feeling. Now, I want to print something like that. 4 asterisk, then 3, 2, and 1. So I have to change slightly my variables. My loop here will be different. The outer loop is again same. Start with 1. Okay. Go to up to n, increase by the variable. Now we are using, instead of row, we are using I. It doesn't matter, I or row. I'm using some variable. And here again, I print asterisk. But when it is 1, my n is 4. So I will start with 4 asterisk. This is my row 1, or I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4. Here, now, there are different ways of building this for loop. I will put these two programs to LMS. So from LMS, you will be able to see, not here, of course, instructive Java programs area. Here, did I put it? No, I didn't put them yet. I will put those programs to here, to instructive Java programs folder. You can download and examine those. There are several ways of doing this, performing this one. This is only one of the possible answers, but there are other solutions as well. I can again start with 1, but change the condition here, etc., etc. There is one possible way. Here I have that one as well. Yeah, here it is. I have n equal 4, 4 to 1 asterisk, n equal to 7, 7 to 1 asterisk. So the two solutions are very similar, just the value is different. But here, one has starting from n and decreasing, and the other starts with 1 and increasing. Okay, we can examine this. I will not spend too much time explaining these things to you. There are not only one solution, there are multiple solutions. You can examine both this solution and that solution. Okay. This one. How can I do that? What is printed on the first line? If n is equal to, this is again, I think 7. Yeah, here we have 7, n is equal to 7. We are printing 6 times space followed by 1 asterisk. 5 times space, 2 asterisk. 4 times space, 3 asterisk, etc. 1 space, 6 asterisk, 0 space, and 7 asterisk. So inside my for loop, I have a loop to print the leading asterisks, sorry, the leading spaces, print space. Okay, here we have system out, print space and print asterisk. So this part is same with that one, okay, with that one. The number of asterisks are same, either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just increases each time. So it is very similar to this one, with the exception of before this loop, we have another loop inside the for loop to print the spaces, okay? So let's go here. Again, there are more than one solutions. This is one solution for this problem. This is another solution. You can examine this. Here, as you see, I have only one for loop, another for loop, and then an if statement, either to print an asterisk or to print space. So just examine these two answers. This will give you quite a good idea how you can build nested for loops. Here we have only one for loop and another for loop. In the inner for loop, this loop goes from 1 to n. This loop goes from 1 to n again, because on each line we have n columns. But until some columns, we print spaces. After some column, we print asterisk. So we arrange that with an if else statement, whether to print at any given column, do we need to print a space or an asterisk? We handle this with an if else statement. So here we have one solution which have a loop to print the leading spaces. This loop prints the leading spaces, and the second loop prints the remaining asterisks for each row. Just examine the conditions here, how the conditions are set up, etc. And also examine the conditions here. We have a loop which goes from 1 to n, and again 1 to n, because every column has equal number of characters in it. But in the second one, until some point we print spaces, after some point we print asterisks, and after some value of column j is column number here, after some value of the column, we have to print asterisk, and before that we have to print space. So we handle it using if else statement inside a line. For every column, we check if the column number is greater than some value, print asterisk, otherwise print space. Okay. So please examine these examples. As I said, I will put these programs to instructive Java programs area in LMS. Here another one. Now we had this one, left justified. This is right justified or right aligned, and right aligned. This is right aligned increasing and right aligned decreasing. Again, I have here two solutions, one solution with if else and another solution with, again, two loops. You can examine this and this. It produces the same output, but with different algorithms. Again, a loop to print the leading spaces here, and then trailing asterisks, and here just with an if else statement, we print either space or asterisk, depending on the column value for a given row. Multiplication table. I can produce this type of table using nested loops. 1 to 10, I is equal to 1. As long as it is less than 11 means up to 10. Start with 1, less than 11 means up to 10. And here we have our multiplication table. Okay. And also I've put some vertical signs. This is the multipliers here and multipliers on the first column, and inside the multiplication values of the table. And between each line, I have this stuff. So just you can examine the multiplication table program part and try to understand this. The only new thing here is printf. I will explain printf in a few weeks' time. We had in Python, if you have attended my courses, I had explained in Python the %d or %3d blah blah, the integer format identifiers. The same identifiers are used in Java as well, although the syntax of making them is different. But here we have I multiply j is the multiplication. 24 is for example, is multiplication of 6 and 4. Okay, and same way 56 is 7 times 8, etc. So here we have I is the row number, j is the column number, and we multiply row and column numbers to get the necessary multiplication value in the multiplication table. And this is again an example of nested for loop. A for loop contains another for loop, nested for loop, and here we multiply the values of row numbers and column numbers to get the multiplication table value and print in a given format so that they are all well aligned. Okay, the alignment is accomplished by using this format identifier. And printf, as I said, I will explain printf later on. Okay, so this is the end of my lecture for today.